While students in college have to deal with online classes, there are also the prospective students who have to deal with online tours. This week, our producer Anthony Landau sat down with the head of admissions to find out how reaching out to new students is being executed this summer.
Joining me today is the Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Management, Tom Richmond. He deals with admissions at Bradley. Tom, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Anthony. Glad to be here.
So in regards to this year's admissions process, how are you putting on tours specifically for families who come to campus?
This has been a challenging year, but we've adjusted and we're trying some new things. We know that when people want to choose a college, one of the most influential things is to visit and feel whether that college is right. And we've been pretty good at visit programs before COVID. And now that COVID's here, we've had to create two new kinds of visit programs and discontinue pretty much everything we used to do. We've added curbside visits where when a family wants to visit, we don't have them even come in the building. We meet them at their car. They get an outdoor visit experience, and it ends back at their car. It's a way for a one-on-one conversation, socially distanced with a current student. Unfortunately, that has eliminated most of our chance to include faculty, which are so influential in a student's decision. And then we substituted for our regular visit programs a thing we're calling Bradley Under the Stars, where we've set aside some Friday and Saturday evenings at dusk where we offer an outdoor tour. We do walk into a couple of spaces, but we do it on a Friday and a Saturday night because we want to be there when we're not exposing the current campus community to an off-campus community. And we even have student tour guides. The job is to hold doors so that we're not even letting people touch doors.
In regards to the curbside tours, when you kind of have one-on-one, do you move in groups, or is it one student to one car, or how does that work out?
Yeah, it's usually one tour guide to one family. And we require the family and the tour guide to be wearing masks and say 6 foot apart so those are two groups. We don't care how close the family get to themselves. So our tour guide stays 6 feet away, wears a mask, stays out of residence halls, and really spends that time, 90-some% of that tour is outside, except when they go through the student center or go through the marketing center, for example.
So how do some of these strategies you're implementing in a pandemic environment, hopefully after the pandemic surpasses, do you think we can use some of these strategies in the future?
I think we will. You always look for a silver lining because this was a gray cloud. And the response we've had of families saying, sitting in those red Bradley chairs that are out in the quad, watching a presentation and Under the Stars, and having people come around and if you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of neat. It's modeled after in New York City, Central Park painted big circles so that people could use the park and still socially distance. They're all 8 feet apart, 6 foot circles. Well, we made squares. And these people sit down and we walk not in their space. People walk up, say, hey, how's your visit? Any questions? So they get to meet people at a social distance, see a presentation, walk around the campus and visualize themselves here. We think we're going to probably do some more of these Bradley Under the Stars even after COVID. And we've really beefed up our online presence. The virtual programming we've done, we did a program last week where there were 180 families tuned in to hear how to afford a private university and walk them through scholarships and financial aid. And that's how we can see who wants to have a conversation with us.
In regards to those Bradley Under the Stars, I should say, that kind of emphasizes the outside, the campus scenery, landscape, things like that. You think that'll be a bigger factor for admissions moving forward?
It's a real balance. People can get a sense of what you offer if they can get online on your catalog. That class is offered. But part of choosing a college is saying, can I live there for 4 years? What's the sense of place, the feel? What is unique? And so they love that sense of how far are things apart? Where do people study? Where do people eat? And that's part of feeling like, I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to spend 4 years here. And so virtual experiences can't completely replace real world experiences, but we have learned virtual experiences can really supplement that decision. So I think what we're going to see after COVID, we're going to keep some of the things we learned that we didn't used to do, and we're going to be better at visits than we used to be.
Well, Tom, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for meeting with us. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
It was a joy to get to share. Thanks for asking.
All right, back to you in the studio.